Quotes from André Maurois. Often we allow ourselves to be upset by small things we should despise and forget. We lose many irreplaceable hours brooding over grievances that, in a year's time, will be forgotten by us and by everybody. No, let us devote our life to worthwhile actions and feelings, to great thoughts, real affections, and enduring undertakings. In literature, as in love, we are astonished at what is chosen by others. The first recipe for happiness is: avoid too lengthy meditation on the past. A happy marriage is a long conversation which always seems too short. Smile, for everyone lacks self-confidence, and more than any other one thing, a smile reassures them. To be witty is not enough. One must possess sufficient wit to avoid having too much of it. There are certain persons for whom pure truth is a poison. The most important quality in a leader is that of being acknowledged as such. All leaders whose fitness is questioned are clearly lacking in force. If you create an act, you create a habit. If you create a habit, you create a character. If you create a character, you create a destiny. No one can be profoundly original who does not avoid eccentricity. Above all things, never be afraid. The enemy who forces you to retreat is himself afraid of you at that very moment. We appreciate frankness from those who like us. Frankness from others is called insolence. Old age is far more than white hair, wrinkles, the feeling that it is too late and the game is finished, that the stage belongs to the rising generations. The true evil is not the weakening of the body, but the indifference of the soul. Self-pity comes so naturally to all of us. The most solid happiness can be shaken by the compassion of a fool. A true woman loves a strong man because she knows his weaknesses. She protects as much as she is protected. The difficult part in an argument is not to defend one's opinion, but rather to know it. To reason with poorly chosen words is like using a pair of scales with inaccurate weights. He who has found a good wife has found great happiness, but a quarrelsome woman is like a roof that lets in the rain. Two human beings anchored to one another are like two ships shaken by waves. Their carcasses collide with one another and creak. If men could regard the events of their own lives with more open minds, they would frequently discover that they did not really desire the things they failed to obtain. We are almost always the craftsmen of our own unhappiness. Even our strongest emotions die, don't you think? And we can look back to the woman we were 3 years ago with the same curiosity and attachment as if it were someone else. Novelty, the most potent of all attractions, is also the most perishable. There is no absurdity or contradiction to which passion may not lead a man. When love or hate takes control, reason must submit and then discover justifications for their folly. Sincerity is glass, discretion is diamond. A gentleman is never in a hurry. The effectiveness of work increases according to geometric progression, if there are no interruptions. We owe to the Middle Ages the two worst inventions of humanity: romantic love and gunpowder. Writing is a difficult trade, which must be learned slowly by reading great authors, by trying at the outset to imitate them, by daring them to be original, by destroying one's first productions. The art of reading is, in great part, that of acquiring a better understanding of life from one's encounter with it in a book. He who wants to do everything will never do anything. Advice is always a confession. Memory is a great artist. For every man and for every woman, it makes the recollection of his or her life a work of art and an unfaithful record. We can talk frankly about our defects only to those who recognize our qualities. An old man, having retired from active life, regains the gaiety and irresponsibility of childhood. He is ready to play. He cannot run with his son, but he can totter with his grandson. Our first and last steps have the same rhythm. One has very little influence upon one's children. Their characters are what they are, and one can do nothing to change them. Like a bird, when his cage is opened, stays on his perch, dazzled by freedom, the postponed traveler does not see that his cage, with its bars of anxiety, it is open. Either the soul is immortal, and we shall not die, or it perishes with the flesh, and we shall not know that we are dead. Live, then, as if you were eternal. Genius consists of equal parts of natural aptitude and hard work. A man cannot free himself from the past more easily than he can from his own body. For intelligent people, action often means escape from thought, but it is a reasonable and a wise escape. We don't go to school to learn, but to be soaked in the prejudices of our class, without which we should be useless and unhappy. The longer the road to love, the keener is the pleasure.